Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Market Report. I am Arby Piper, and this got some green. We got some green coming back here after hitting some lower levels. Hit a nice, strong bounce. And right now, we're going to be watching these charts today. We got to talk about what's going on this week with the economic macro data, and then also some warnings for Coinbase coming out. They also got a banned ad. I'm going to show you this ad. It's pretty funny. It's banned in the UK. But there's some analysts saying sell Coinbase right now. I don't know what this all means. We're going to talk about it. We'll discuss it right here with you guys, the alumni. Appreciate everyone being here. If you haven't done so, hit the like button on your way in. You guys know what time it is. Take your seats. Get your notebooks out. Class is in session. Let's go. By the way, if you don't know, Jesse Gellick does not need a safe word in his life. He said, what is a safe word, Buck? I appreciate Buck being back in here. Guys, looking at the chart here, getting a little pump coming right here off of this 50% fib line. Didn't quite meet down here to where, or the 382, I should say. We didn't quite reach the value area low, but we did close a nice little fair value gap off of this candlestick here. So we'll take a look at that. Shout out to everybody in the chat right now. If you guys don't know, we got Pi Bears in the emojis now. Just some updates on that. Also changed out the banner, and we're trying to tighten things up, getting things ready, back and rolling as we continue into our new month of August. Looking at this whole market play here. Red. It's typically red in August, just so you guys know. So we'll take a look and see how this typically looks and where are we right now. Are we okay? Are we in? Is this normal? Is everything normal? Snafu. That's what it is. Let's go ahead and pull up my co-host here. He broke his camera this morning. Broke his camera mount, I should say. So he's a little bit shorter. He's Alex O height today. So OC, low C, that's low C guy right there. What's up, dude? How you doing today, man?
Not much. Going just through a little bit of a panic phase. I was trying to adjust the camera and the damn thing just broke out of. In fact, I just kind of like have it here. The whole mount just broke on me. So I just need to kind of like be a little creative today in the morning. And well, my camera is hanging literally in there.
Hang in there, camera. Hang in there. We got this. All right. Let's go ahead and bring up the alumni. Let's give them a shout out here, see how they're doing. We got let's see. Let me bring that other list up, and we'll go ahead and take a look through here. We got Jesse Gellick in here, who said, I'll buy the F out of it, especially with my birthday upcoming August 13th. So Jesse's got a birthday coming. Not scared, prepared. Alexander G said, Wix wife fine, 89. So Piper, if we no longer have accurate job numbers since the head of BLS was fired, how will the markets react? Badly, I assume. Yeah, I think the markets today could be setting people up for some traps, 2Dub. I really do. I think that we are going to see some more sell-off. I hate to say it, but hopefully all we're going to be doing is just following the Piper plan and doing our DCA. It's DCA Monday, and we dropped all that in the Discord this morning. So I'm all nice and cleanly shaven. I did this just for username. I shaved for him today so that he doesn't have to ask for my hats. But yeah, guys, DCA Piper levels were dropped over in the Discord. So all of our members, make sure you go and dig in there and see what you got. But let's see who else we got here. She said, "Oh, sheezy." That's what 2Dub said. Alexandra G in here. Our lovely mod queen. Appreciate you being here, lady. Always, always, always. Jesse, get lucky. Dropping the Pi Bears in there. Who else do we have? We got Bakoshi No Dinero in here. R.S. Miller. Dylan V.A. Buck. He said, did you not use your safe word, Jesse? And Jesse said, I don't. Where we're going, we don't need safe words, Buck. That's what he said. Jesse, I appreciate you being here. Robert Mulligan joining us in the chat. Also, Average Crypto Joe. I saw Crypto Coin Mindset. Yep, Crypto Coin Mindset right there. What's up, Keith? We're going to be redirecting over to Keith today with Bingo Bango T.I. Joe. They're going to be kicking off right here at the end of the show. So make sure you guys stay tuned. We'll just redirect right to them. And then JB Hulk Smash dropping in here up at the beginning, BC Port Corp. And I think that's it. I think I got through all the alumni. I appreciate you guys all being here.
Yeah, that's my alumni. You know what I mean?
Much love, Army Piper. Much love to you, Alexander G. All right, OC. Let's talk about this. Let's go take a look at your Bitcoin chart. You can show me on there where the bulls touched you and where the bears touched you on your chart. Because Friday when we left, we talked about some sell-off. We did. We said,
Yes,
be careful,
will do.
low volume, and things are not looking too good. So, OC, let's go ahead and kick it over to your chart. Let's get a quick update on where we are with Bitcoin right now, and then we'll break down this macro news and hit all these headlines up. Let's go.
Absolutely. So first of all, let's try to see through the spaghetti here, and concentrate on this area right here. I'm gonna be tending to the spaghetti in a little bit, but so far it's tracking and it's moving just like we were expecting, just a little bit higher on this area right here. In fact, remember we were expecting this movement out of this area, and almost just like magic, it played out very, very nicely. I would actually be updating this as something like that, because that would actually make much more sense. And there we go. We came back down all the way to our first area right here of entry, somewhere around 112, and our next area of entry, that is 110. Almost right there, touching that zone. And well, what happened? We're bouncing through, or bouncing back up. Important, are we going to be smashing with, or bouncing off the dynamic reactor? I don't know, but our oscillator is telling us a little bit of a secret in here. If you take a look at here, we were also expecting a little breakthrough that zero line, and we're having that breakthrough the zero line, but we're moving faster than the price action. So far, yes, we do have a big body candle here, but the only issue is that it's not going through dynamic reactor. So depending what the price action does, which I believe it should hover over this area, and then we're going to go much faster on the oscillator for then a rejection. Well, I believe that we're not going to make it this time, right? Something like this. And maybe we have a secondary run to the upside. So just be careful on that. For me, already have entered in here, right down here as we planned before. Well then, and right now, I am just taking 50% out as we are basically speaking just today in the morning, because we're getting to that dynamic reactor. If you did not jump in these areas, that is fine. Wait for your breakout, retest, continuation scenario. If that does not happen, wait for it to fully break below. And then when you're breaking below, and you're breaking also back below our zero line on our oscillator, that's when you're going to be jumping for a short. But so far, so good. We are in a V-shaped recovery. We need to wait a little bit more for confirmation for the next movement. So that's what I got so far on Bitcoin.
Appreciate that. Awesome, dude. All right, let's go ahead and jump over to the news. Talk about what's going on over there. Let's go over there. All right, jumping in on the news, guys. Taking a look at the metrics here from Into the Cryptoverse. Look at the crypto market cap right now. We're at $3.76 trillion. Trend on this is at $4.156 trillion. Undervaluation currently is sitting at 90 or negative 9.52, 90, negative 90%. Oh, Lord, how far did we drop? Negative 9.52%. Also, looking here, guys, we are coming back away from our median line, starting to get a little pushback up towards it, but we're going to keep an eye on that. That median fair value coming in right about 4.15 right now. And so if we take a look here, let's go out to further, like end of the month here, we'd be looking at like a 4.2. So I would expect that we're going to rise with the fair value. But if we do get a pullback, guys, keep in mind we can drop a pretty good distance below this thing. So looking at the Bitcoin risk levels right now on Bitcoin, it's 54.7%, still sitting at a 2x DCA on Bitcoin. Of course, we got all the altcoins over there dropped in the Discord too. Those modified on a 30-day simple moving average. So that 30-day simple moving average gives us a little bit of a smoother DCA levels for our altcoins. So that's why we do that over there. Shout out to Crypto Trades joining us in there. He said, Buenos dias. I see you, bro. I see you. All right, so taking a look here at what we're seeing on Bitcoin dominance, we're at 61.41% again, pumping back up there on Bitcoin dominance without stable coins. We're almost at 66% again. Bitcoin dominance continuing to reclimb after hitting that bounce level of support that OC pointed out a couple of weeks ago to you guys. Yep, that's what we got there. Let's jump over. Take a look at this Fear and Greed Index, currently sitting at 64 right now on the Fear and Greed Index. This was as of like 5 hours ago. Do we have a new one? Is there a new one? Can we get a new one in here? Oh, yeah, we do. It's 64 still. 64, still sitting there. All right, what else we got here in the X marks the spot? Because I had a thing here. There we go. Events for the week. Kabisi letter. So we're going to start this out on Monday. We're going to get global services PMI data. I believe this is out right here at the top of the hour, right when we started. This came out. So we'll take a look at that here in a minute. July ISM non-manufacturing PMI data coming out tomorrow. 10-year note auction. It's going to be a big thing to watch on Wednesday because the 10-year note, that's the baseline, right? That's the pulse of the economy when it comes to the bonds market. And plus, it's also the baseline for auto loans, home loans, stuff like that. That auction is going to be a big deal on Wednesday. Initial jobless claims on Thursday is going to be out. That's the weekly unemployment filings. And then total of 5 Fed speakers events going on this week. Approximately 20% of the S&P 500 companies will be reporting earnings. Of course, 26% of the market movement that we've had recently, all coming off the Mag 7. So it's going to be a busy week for, not as busy as we've seen, but it's going to be a busy August. How about that? Pretty quiet week overall, though. And guys, check this out. Why do we DCA into Bitcoin? Because U.S. banks are now sitting on $413 billion in unrealized losses as of Q1 2025. Not a pretty sight to be in. I would not want to be the guy explaining to my CEO of what's going on with here's your number, sir. Good luck. Also, guys, if you guys don't know, Arthur Hayes sold $13 million worth of crypto. He gave a warning, Bitcoin and Ethereum to drop. Arthur Hayes sees Bitcoin falling to $100,000, Ethereum to $3,000 amid looming U.S. tariff risk. He's not even talking about the job numbers revisions, guys. He's talking just on the U.S. tariffs. He thinks that there's still more pain coming for that and sees Bitcoin going down to $100,000. So have to take a look at those levels. 3K on ETH, OC, and 100K on Bitcoin. We'll have to take a look and see what those levels look like there. And then we'll come back and check out this video here in a little while from Coinbase, but it has to do with the band ad that they have in the UK. It's pretty funny, but yeah, we'll go check that out in a bit. Let's look at the stock market right now. Looking at the stock market this morning, opened up about 44 minutes ago. Dow Jones currently up 0.89%, S&P up 1.14%, and the NASDAQ up 1.6%. Russell 2K making a meager gain there of 0.75% there. And the VIX sitting around 17.97. It is pulling back 11.83%. However, the VIX is above 17, and that does mean that we could see some volatility coming in. Looking at the Europe markets, they were all green overnight. Asian markets, mostly green overnight, except for Japan. And then look at the 10-year. It's starting to come back up again. It's creeping 4.224% right now, up 0.004% on the 10-year U.S. yield. Look at the oil and gas guys all coming down and pulling back. Slow down in demand. That's what happens. Looking at gold, $3,434, up another percent today. Gold continuing to make a rally back to the upside. Will it hit $3,500? That is the big question. A lot of people saying that gold might be needing a cool off right now after getting back up. It took a lot of energy to go from $3,300 to $3,400. Silver sitting at 37.36, up about 1% today. Copper with a slight pullback of 0.06, and then platinum and palladium both to the upside. Platinum up 3% today. OC, look at that. Palladium only up 0.36. So the fight continues between platinum and palladium. It's OC versus Rick right there. That's what we got on the stock market. Let's jump over here and talk about the stock bounce. After Friday's sell-off, the Dow Jones up 400 points higher. This is a live update, so let's go ahead and hit this. I want to make sure I got the freshest news in here. Okay, up 300 points higher now. It's pulled back slightly. Stocks climbed Monday as investors clawed back the steep losses that they experienced over the weekend there. Steep losses seen in the previous session that were sparked by concerns over the economy and a new round of tariffs from the Trump administration. The Dow Jones Industrial gained 350 points, or about 0.8%. S&P up 1.1%. NASDAQ Composite advanced 1.6%, thanks to the 2% gain in Tesla. Again, 26% of the market valuation pump that we've seen came from the Mag 7. Markets are rebounding after the post-job slump on Friday, but sentiment turned notably last week as investors were forced to confront stagflationary economic data there. Shout out to CJ Taylor. I see you, bro. You still not smoking? Guys, Clyde's quitting smoking. He had some issues, and they said, "Look, you got to quit smoking." So he's quit smoking. So you guys give him some support in the chat there. Tell him he can do it. He can kick it. He can do it. I know he can. All right, markets are rebounding after the post-jobs slump on Friday, but sentiment turned notably last week as they were forced to confront stagflationary economic data, soft jobs, and hot PCE for quarter two earnings. Bulls are far from being defeated, though, and continue to hold a grip on the narrative, but will require affirmation to regain confidence. Meaning, what does that mean? What does that mean? That means that we need to see some levels retaken and the retested support that is resistance. Retake it, bam, back up we go, right? That's what they're looking in the stock market. It's also what we're looking for in the crypto market. Let's get down here, though, and let's talk about this. Investors are also looking ahead for new earning releases this week. Palantir set to post release today at the close of the market today, and AMD on Tuesday. The market is bracing for a historically weak month. This is the key takeaway. Historically weak month. August is the worst month for the Dow Jones Industrial Average in data going back to 1988, and the second worst for the S&P and NASDAQ, according to the Stock Traders Almanac. So August, guys, not good for the stock markets, typically not good for Bitcoin either. Let's go ahead and actually bring up that chart, and we'll talk about that. Returns month over month. You can see here currently for Bitcoin, let's refresh and make sure we got that right percentage. For Bitcoin, we're currently down right now in August, negative 1.22%. And historically, yes, I know, 2021, 2017, fourth year of the cycle in the 4-year cycle, we do typically have green months. But overall, typically, it is a red month for August. How much? Average median, 7.49% to the downside. So we look at that and we look at the stock market and we go, okay, is August going to be a down month for stocks? Could be a down month for Bitcoin. We got to take all that into account. Let's talk about liquidations. In the past 24 hours, 69,119 traders got liquidated. Total liquidations came in at $175.47 million. Not that much, pretty low. Although there was a pretty big one on Bitcoin for $13 million there. Happened on Bybit, guys. If you got that money to give away, you can, super chat right here on Piper Academy. We'll take it. $13 million super chat. Can we get that, please? Thanks. Have a good day. Actually, no, don't do that. I'll send you my address. $13 million super chat means Google's getting 30% of that. So if you guys don't know, Google takes 30% of memberships, everything. So whatever. Looking at altcoin season, where are we at in the alt season, guys? We're not there. That's where we are. It's 45 right now on the alt season index. Right now, you can see we are starting to get a little pump back up here at the very end of this cycle. Little tick up there, but we won't technically hit back into altcoin season until we hit 71, and this thing is struggling to get there. So 45 alt season not here yet. Looking at the bull market peak indicators, sell at the top. How many have we hit? 0. We're still 97% hold right now, 100% being the max. We're just below it. Closest one right now still is Bitcoin dominance, I believe. Yeah, Bitcoin dominance 94.11%. Anything else that close? Anything? Nope, not seeing it. All right, yeah, Bitcoin dominance is the closest one to hitting that, and we're still not there on that yet. So let's go talk about prices right now. Bitcoin getting a little rally this morning. It's sitting at $115,316. It's up 1.2% on the daily, up 0.8 on the hourly here. Ethereum kicking it, bro. Up 5.2%. XRP up 7%. We are seeing little rallies here in the alts, but again, not altcoin season. Not altcoin season. As BC Port Corp said, alt season canceled. We've talked about that for a year now. For a year on this show, on this channel, while everybody was throwing out thumbnails of alt season right around the corner, and this is what I'm buying, an $800 chain link, and blah, 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 yakety smackety. We've been keeping it real with you guys and said, probably not going to see what as an alt season happen. It's just not likely. Too many tokens in the space, not enough liquidity. It's a simple dynamics of numbers. The math ain't mathing, okay? Look at Solana here, up 3.5%. Tron's up 2.2. Big movers today. Cardano's up 4.5. It's pretty good. Stellar Lumens is up 6%. Actually just under the performance of XRP, of 6.8 there on that. Chainlink, very far off from $800. It's up 4.6% today. And then Litecoin, guys, moving back into the number 19 spot on the market cap. It is up 9.7% right now. That's sitting at just over 119. So, and then Leo token kind of flat. That's the top 20 guys there on the market cap. Let's go look at the economic data and let's talk about it. We had factory orders today. Was it 8.2? Was expected to be negative 4.9 to negative 6. Better than expected. Came in at negative 4.8. But look, factory orders slowing down. We saw that the purchasing down, right? Factory orders not looking strong, right? And factory orders means the demand is, they're shutting down demand, right? So they're lessening how many orders they're sending to these factories to produce goods. And those factories, of course, if they don't get a lot of orders and don't have a lot of need and demand, what do? They cut more jobs, and that means more Bureau of Labor Statistics giving us fake numbers probably. So hopefully not anymore. Hopefully that problem is now fixed. But yeah, factory orders down, guys, in the negative. Economic pillar showing some weakness there. Tuesday, we're going to get this stuff tomorrow. It's going to be ISM services and PMI. Right now, expected to be a little bit higher. Is this a good thing or a bad thing? It's a bad thing. That means inflation. That equates to inflation. That equates to demand, which would be loss of jobs. So there's how that all plays out for you. Looking at Wednesday, we're going to get the mortgage rates for the 30-year fixed rate mortgage coming in. It's currently at 6.83 right now. And then we're going to get Thursday's weekly job unemployment claims. That's initial jobless claims right now expected to be higher. Look at that. I have a feeling this comes in and crushes 220 and goes even higher. Just we'll see. RS Miller, it will go up for Christmas orders. That's the hope, and that's where a lot of the companies make their money. RS Miller is Christmas orders. So if we don't see a big, huge spike come up for that, could be canceled Christmas, just so you know. And then what else we got? Non-farm productivity is coming out on Thursday. Friday, nothing big. So next week's going to be the big one. We're going to get core inflation rates coming in, and they're looking static. They're looking neutral. So, all right, that's what we got for the economic calendar. Kind of a quiet week for overall busy month. Look at this, though, guys. Chance of a rate cut in September, now hitting 83.5% likelihood. Look at October. It's a 96.7% chance. So we will say that September, maybe, possibly. October, very likely. How about that? Max Payne, where are we at on the Max Payne, OC? And get ready, because we're coming in with the Bitcoin chart right after this, bro. Looking at Max Payne. Matter of fact, I'll go ahead and bring you up here with me, OC. I didn't adjust you here at all, so we'll see how you look. Yeah, you're short. You're low C still. I got you, bro. Low C in the house. Looking at the monthly here for Max Payne on longs versus shorts, guys. Short Max Payne, meaning the target that will wipe out the most short trades right now, 120,437, about 4.85% away. What about Max Payne's for longs? It's going to be 109,784, and I do believe OC's got a call for that level, right around that 110 range. It's only 4.43% away, so we're sitting right in between Max Payne to the upside and Max Payne to the downside. We can see that here when we look at the chart, guys. That 120 range up there, a lot of heat up there, sitting down below us. Not as hot as what we're seeing, but definitely another level there. Matter of fact, what is it? It's 281 million if we go up. That it will liquidate. It'll liquidate $281 million worth of shorts if we go to 120. It will liquidate $167 million in longs if we go down to 110. So who knows? I think that we might try to take out the 281 first and then see if these people close out. I don't know. OC, your thoughts on this? What are you seeing on the charts and what's sitting at these levels, bro?
Well, first of all, let's take a look at where we have an alert ringing on the August the 2nd or August 2. Here you can take a look at 111,943 or 111,943 because right there, you look at that, we hit that bounce almost perfectly. That is not the actual point. It is just where are the support and resistances, right? If we start take a look at how things are playing out, well, we did have a great predictive range in here, acting as a support. So let me just get rid of that for a second, and let's go back to just the cleaner charts that we can have, right? So far, this is the daily, and look at where the dynamic reactor is coming in strong. It is somewhere around 108. But we also have an alert right here at 110. That is because that's where our interest zone starts. Not only that, we have a smart money entry right there. So basically, we were charting the center of that smart money entry and then the low part of that smart money entry. So what's going on? Are we going to get it? I think that we have a real chance because look at in the daily. Let me just get rid of everything. Here we have a range. This V-shaped recovery is looking way lower than just a V-shaped recovery. So for me, this is a breakout retest. We're going to be retesting. Well, then we have right here. Oh, come on. We have right here. There we go. A big area of resistance coming in line in here. Look at that. Coming in line with the overall support that we have right there. So I do expect a little bit more movement to the upside, especially on the 4 hour, having that dynamic reactor on its way in here. And then finally, having a continuation down to 110 at least. You also were calling out at the 1806, if I'm not mistaken, right before. I think that was a max pain back in the day, and
Yes,
that
sir.
also came very close. Yeah, that actually came very close to the daily dynamic reactor because we don't know exactly where we're going to be, but we know overall where is that dynamic reactor could be playing out. And look at that, it is somewhere in between the 110 and I would say also the 106, especially taking a look at this gap in here with this flash V-shaped recovery and then retracement. So it makes sense, those area. I'm gonna keep waiting. I think we're gonna get that retracement completed, but I also believe that we could be preparing ourselves, not quite there yet, but for a short position all the way back down to 110. I think this will be a fantastic area to short the market. But let's be real. Let's zoom out. We are on a bullish trend. All right, we are on a bullish trend, and the only retracement that we have had was it was this one, and it was just to break with strength. So again, if we hover over here for a little bit and then make a higher high, we can still going up very strongly to the upside. I think everything is gonna be defined on the 116 area. In fact, let me add that alert, and that came out to be, there we go, at 116,855.
Nice. So there you go. And I wouldn't be mad. I'll DCA all the way down. That's the type of plan, right? We DCA. We set weekly DCAs, and it's not just a DCA. We got a profit taking plan in there too. Matter of fact, if you had taken the profits on XRP, you would have had a lot more to buy in on the new DCA amounts that are coming in. So let's go talk about this ad here. And while we're doing this, OC, if you can pull up on your chart, Coinbase. We're going to take a look at their chart because we're going to do a little segment here on Coinbase. First of all, we got an ad that was banned in the UK. Coinbase is not happy with it at all. They said everything's fine. Everything's fine. If everything is fine, then don't change anything at all, is what they said. And then we'll take a look at this article, CNBC Pro analyst talking about it's time to sell Coinbase. So let's go jump over here. Take a look at this video. This was published. This was a published ad for the UK, and now it is banned. So let's take a look at this.
We ain't got no troubles, no reason to complain. Cause here in Great Old Britain, we just love it when it rains. Morning. We're cozy here at home, even though it's not our own. But wait a few more years and you can say everything is just fine. Everything is grand. Your life can get no better when you live by the letter in this pleasant land. Everything is just fine. Everything is great. The streets can't get no cleaner. No, the rat meat any leaner. No, life is just first rate.
Everything is just fine.
These fish fingers are a steal.
Price is up a smidge.
Just £100 a meal.
Empty purse, but hey, could be worse if there was nothing in the fridge.
Oh, come on now. There we go.
Strategic realignment means I get to work for myself. Yeah! Paying off my law degree with tips from each delivery. Excuse me, sir, I have your tandoori. Everything is just fine. Everything is grand. Your life can get no better when you're living by the letter in this pleasant land. Everything is just fine. Everything is great. We're soldiering on. We're doing our best.
We're off to Dubai.
It's time to jump ship.
We're tightening our belts with a stiff upper lip. 'Cause everything's just fine.
So there you go. If everything is fine, then don't change anything. And this ad was banned over in the UK. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Was that a pretty good video? I think it's a great ad. It's a little bit long. It's 2 minutes, but it's meant to go on social media, stuff like that, I believe anyways. But yeah, the UK banning this. Let's go talk about this this ban that they have going on, and then also take a look at what this analyst is saying on Coinbase. And I just saw from BC Port Corp, he said Kathy Woods just bought $30 million of Coinbase stock on Friday. Well, she has a history of buying at the wrong time, so we'll see. Coinbase CEO pushes back against the UK advertising regime after exchanges TV commercial gets pulled. UK broadcasters have pulled Coinbase's Everything is Fine TV ad, a 1-minute musical satire prompting CEO Brian Armstrong to accuse regulators of stifling crypto innovation. The Advertising Standards Authority has not yet issued a formal ruling, even as former Chancellor George Osborne warns Britain risk falling behind rivals on digital asset policy. Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong scrutinized the UK's advertising regime on Monday after broadcasters apparently banned the exchange's new television commercial. The traditional financial system is not working for many people, and crypto represents a way to improve that, Armstrong wrote on X, adding that any attempt to censor the spot would only amplify his reach and his message, too, in my opinion. Let's take a look at what they're saying here, though, from Compass Point. Sell Coinbase as crypto stocks rally runs out of steam. They're saying it's running out of steam. I don't know. Yeah, we had a little bounce, but I think that we still have one more good push in there for the markets there. Coinbase lackluster second quarter results could mean the stock's momentum may start to wane. According to Compass Point Research, the firm downgraded Coinbase to sell from neutral on the Sunday note. It's also trimmed its price target from $248 a share to $248 per share from their previously stated $330 per share, signaling more than a 21% downside from Friday's $314 close. Coinbase has been on fire this year, advancing more than 26%. OC, how are we looking on that chart? With Coinbase, I just saw Hazel Tekla. I think I butchered that, but hey, shout out to Hazel. I appreciate you being here. Said as a British person, that is a hilarious video. I think it's pretty good. I personally, but how's the chart looking for Coinbase, OC?
Well, let's take a look at the chart here really quickly. And I think before I start talking about the chart, I think that I need to make sure that I believe that that is a strategic commercial, not only trying to be both satire and also kind of like a press on those buttons that hurt. I mean, that also will fit for my country, and I think that will also fit for many other countries. Talking about how things are just fine, right? So I think, well, then, despite they have their commercial ban, there's turning heads, right? So all publicity, maybe it's good publicity. I don't know. All exposure, it's good exposure. I think that's what they're going for. They want to be a big, or they want to make a big noise, stir it up a little bit that soup that they have going on in there. And despite having a big drop down in here, and let's measure that. There you go. We have a big of 8.27 drop down. That is pretty big, substantially big. well, then I believe that we're going to find some support, especially after all this negativity is going to go. Well, then the exposure is going to be there, because I bet you all over the place we're talking about this, right? I mean, news channel, commercial being banned. Do you got, offended, or do you like that or not? Whatever it needs to happen is going to bring some exposure, more clients for Coinbase, and whoever liked it also that we're not aware on, or on the radar, they might get some more clients out of that commercial. I think that's a very nice commercial. So support areas, we have one right here on the dynamic reactor, somewhere around 285. Another area is right where we are right now. This is a ranging zone, and despite we're not ranging, that's exactly when we stop the fall from that gap that we just had. And then let me just control C this.
Just as a reminder, while you're in there, OC, the Compass Point Research, they're calling for 248 per share as their price target. So you can also look at what that's in line with too. So
that could be possible. I don't think so far would that be, but look at that. We have our VRVP or VPVR right here, or money flow POC right on this huge ranging zone. We also have a liquidity gap here and smart money entry. So 246, it's a big area of support. Depending on how we start getting to the dynamic reactor, we could be weakening to that area. But I think that would be still a good support zone. I think we're going to bounce higher. But yep, all of the supports are concentrated right there in that same area.
Sweet. All right. Yeah, I think that, yeah, they could get a pullback, especially if Coinbase, especially if Bitcoin is doing a pullback during the month of August. If we get a pullback, of course it's going to pull back. And sure, I don't know that I would sell it though. I watched a video recently with Graham Stephan, and it was on how he lost $1 million. And it wasn't on a bad investment at all. It was on lack of patience. Okay. He actually talked about Robinhood, how he bought it. It was like $90 some, went down to like $30 some. He lost like 60% of his investment. He thought it was going to go lower. He ended up selling it. And it was like a lot of shares, guys. It was a ton of shares. He ended up selling that at a 60% loss and bought a Tesla model, whatever, the convertible one, big collector's editions, like one of 15 yellow ones that they made. The value on that has dropped astronomically on that car. And today, Robinhood, if he had kept it all and not bought that car, he'd be up over $1 million. So yeah, don't bet against things sometimes, guys. Patience equals profits, Alexander G said. Shout out to Lunar Beaches Crypto. I see you, bro. What's up, man? You guys haven't followed Lunar Beaches over there on his channel yet. Guys, make sure you guys give Lunar a follow over there. LBC dropping the waves. I'm telling you. You guys are missing out. Go check out a show. I checked him out last night. It was kind of cool to see him live at a little bit of an earlier time. So go check out Lunar Beaches Crypto. All right. Let's talk about altcoins, OC. We got about 20 minutes here before we head over to Crypto Coin Mindset Show. On the altcoin side, and I'm going to kick it off here with some ETH. I want to talk about what I'm seeing on Ethereum right now. Bitcoin getting a little bit of a pump rally too, but let's jump over to my chart. I'll take a look at ETH. We'll come back in, grab some OC knowledge there on the other alts, but let's take a look here at what I'm seeing on Ethereum. I have a gold level here, guys, and I want to talk about this band first of all. I want to show you where it's coming from, because this fib level is being pulled from the low of 2020, okay, right there, to the high of 2021 when we broke that $4,800 level, all the way to our bottom in 2022, which, by the way, that $958, whatever this is down here, what is it, $879? Yeah, I was actually at lunch with Crux of Crypto at the, what is the name of the Chinese restaurant? CF Pay. CF Chang's? PF Chang's. That's the place. PF Chang's. We were at lunch and I actually picked up 10 Ethereum at $1,000 down here. So I remember that day quite well. That is June 20th there, 2022. That was our bottom. So this is a trend-based fib extension, and it pulls from this point up to this point, down to this point, and it gives us trend-based fibs. Look at what price action has done in this level over and over and over again between the 0.66 and the 0.618. It has been pretty much our top levels here. We've had a couple of breakouts and wicks above it, but overall, it's held quite well for our top side move here. And you can see we just got rejected in it again. I have to say, I think Ethereum is going to make another run at this level. And the reason that I think that is because I think it does go higher. And I think we get support at the 618 at 38.25. Now, if we do pull back, that would be a 50% fib level that I'd be watching, 32.63. What does that level mean? You come down on the 50 and you get a bounce on it. It's extremely bullish, guys. So I'm actually going to go ahead and set up a level. I'm going to set up an alert right here above this, first of all, at around 3,300. Because I think that if this triggers here, and I will put in a limit order later on, I think that this is the bounce level. If we do not get into the golden pocket, I think it comes down to the 50 and bounces up, and then we head for the 786, which would be about $4,600. Of course, I think if we're in that range of 4,600, we should do a liquidity sweep for people that may have been shorting at the top of the market all the way back in 2021. And will be in an area that people are thinking we're going to reject here anyway. So I think it pushes a little bit past that and hits them out. So still want a wave emoji. Lunar Beach has said, bro, we'll get you a wave. But give me your shark, your LBC shark. Give me that logo that you have right there on your thing, and I will get you uploaded. How about that? But that's what I'm seeing on Ethereum right now. When we look at the daily, it does look like money flow is coming down, and it does look like volume's dropping. So I would not be surprised to see that level come in on the 50% fib and bounce there. OC, let's kick it over to you and see what else you got on some other altcoin, bro.
Absolutely. So let's get started here. Most of these coins we were talking about on Trading with OC. So let's try to make that a little shifty here. And we have a lot of alerts in here, starting with TAO. Something that just popped up on my screen, which I want to take advantage and talked about it. It is the dominance. So we were talking about before we go on Friday, how the dominance was speaking out in here. And not only that, a possible retracement for then a further continuation. We're having that retracement, which means that we could be seeing, or we could be expecting some altcoins to be rallying, or at least taking a little bit of a push. Remember, right here, we're looking for that peak performance diamonds, or at least a little valley here that comes back to the upside, basically breaking a flat-ish triangle to the upside. So be careful with altcoins at this point. We might still have a little bit more run up, but it's not going to be a long-lasting one. All right, let's go to TAO. TAO, we have a possible entry right here at our 320-ish, but it hit our alert at 361. So basically 61 right there on the way, coming back down, losing the previous entry here, and well, then announcing that we could be getting in here. As you can see, we almost hit it off, not quite there yet, but we're bouncing off that trend line on the breakout. What's going to be the target? Dynamic reactor 381-ish. So how do we jump in? We only jump in if we have some sort of a range and then continuation. So I want to see this playing out, or something like a double hump bullish mountain. But so far, we need to wait on that. A link, basically the same thing happened here. That was on, let me show you here the alert area. And I need to start adding those lines. I think they're going to make it much easier. 16.86. Here it is. And we are looking for a possible short at this zone. So today we hit this area for a possible short. I'm still going to be waiting a little bit more, because despite we are in rejection zones, we already have a diamond reversal. So what's going to be our next possible entry, just in case we do have a breakout right here, crossing the 1802. Let me just push a little bit lower here, and I'm gonna add my line also in there, something around here. So what we're gonna be looking for is either rejection. If we have some rejection, we're gonna be looking for a re-entry either right here or right here, as we have another peak performance. And if we have a breakout, we are going to be looking for that retracement, maybe a scalping short, and then a continuation upwards. So that's what we got on Link. Let's take a look at Jupiter that played out on Sunday. Jupiter had a breakout. We did hit entries in here in this area. So far, well, then we are critical because we're losing strength and we just are going through that bullish scenario. So how far could we be going? Not that far, I would say. It's time to bring up our support and resistances and see if we have anything else in the way. Well, we have a high order block. So I think that calling out a 0.50 area would be a good target to set up in here. And finally, let me do some Pingu, because Pingu, we are in a trade already. This one played out perfectly. This was our entry point. Basically got filled right here yesterday on Sunday. And, well, we should be right now taking TP number 1 and, well, letting it run, moving your stop to entry, and we'll celebrate the next possible taking profits. Well, that is basically what I got for now. Let me pass it over to you, and then I can take on XRP, Litecoin, Sui, and Turbo.
Awesome. So I'm looking at I'm sitting here looking at the daily and the weekly chart right now. And this morning, I don't know if you guys watch Jason Casper at all, but I typically in the mornings, I watch Alex O Crypto. Shout out to him, by the way, if he's still here. I saw him in the chat earlier, dropped him otters in the chat. It's OG Monday. I got my OG shirt on. I got my OG coffee mug. You know, it's what I do on Monday. I wake up and start my day with Alex O. He was not live this morning. So I went over and checked out Jason Casper, and he was talking about some market cipher stuff on the on the weekly, right? And so I went over, it's like, okay, let's go check out Chart Prime. Is this Chart Prime catching it all too? And man, it's catching everything. I want to show you guys here, guys. We did do this pullback. We had a fair value gap. So a fair value gap, if you guys don't know, it would have pulled from wick to wick. If we go in here, let's grab a rectangle from this wick here to this wick here, and then stretch that over. That is the fair value gap that was created on this candle right here, right? Check it out. Bam, it caught the bottom there, and we bounced up. We have closed this fair value gap, but I was like, okay, well, what's going on the weekly? And let's go see. I see some danger on this chart for Bitcoin, OC. I'm looking here at the weekly. Check it out right here. This range that we were in a couple of weeks ago at the top side of Bitcoin, we have fired off a bearish divergence on the weekly. The last time we fired off a bearish divergence on the weekly is all the way back in October of 2021. It is right there. We came up, did one last liquidity sweep, and then down it went. We did have one that fired in September, keep in mind, but that one also led to a pullback of 25%. And then, of course, we went into the bear market on the second one. We have fired off a bearish divergence on the weekly right here. And this does give me cause for concern. I'm a little concernicus about seeing that on the weekly. Shout out to Jason Casper. Made me pull out a little bit more. Get off the daily. Let's go check the weekly. Yeah, not a good sign right there. And we do have a long way to go. To get back into a reset level on the RSI. So don't think that this thing isn't poised right now on the weekly with the money flow coming down, volume getting flat, divergence, power bar firing off there, and all of this space sitting beneath this. So I am going to point that out. But again, I think that we get one more pump in liquidity sweep just to fake everyone out in this cycle. Taking a look at the higher time frame here on the weekly also with our golden pocket bands. This is our top indicator bands coming off of trend-based fibs there. Our level sitting on this right now, we have rejected again off of that 0.66 at 117. Of course, we did wick up to that 123 area, but now we are back inside of the pocket. Low side on this is coming in at 103. So dangerous. Danger Will Robinson, OC. So I just wanted to make people aware. That's what I try to do. One last chart that I want to point out and take a look at it. I don't want to point anything out. I haven't even looked at it yet, but I want to take a look here at the fib channels and let's see how this is looking because our 0.786 has been pretty much where I have said not well going up from here ever since the bottom of the cycle. We were running into it here, we were running into it here, and we were running into it here and running into it. This has been the level. My line in the sand is my 786. If you guys are not familiar with this chart at all, it's fib channels going for the entire history of Bitcoin. My level on the 786 right now, guys, coming in really like right around 95, 90, what is he, 94 to 95,000, 92,000 maybe. If we really zoom it in on the week that we're on right now, I don't think it's going to be a straight down line. So even if this came down into the 90s, though, this would still be a setup for a bullish move. Of course, if we do get that weekly sell off, would that be a cause for concern right now? Even if we went with that 25%, yeah, 25% is going to be below the 786. So that would be a very interesting feature to take place here on price action because a break below that 786, guys, puts us in play into the range of the platinum pocket. And of course, some of these levels are like $64,000, $70,000 downside. Is that what we're going to see in the bottom of the bear cycle? Remains to be seen. I don't know. But OC, let's go ahead and kick it back over to you. Let's hear your thoughts on those things. The weekly divergence is a big deal, in my opinion, on Bitcoin. Your thoughts on this, and then we'll head back in to take a look at those other alts.
I got myself again. So I was saying Bitcoin is going to zero. So, I mean, last time that you called out that because I do remember that we were together and you say, "Hey, OC, take a look at the weekly," right? And then it was just going down from there. I do recall that one, and that was also again one of that moment just went through my head, and it's like, "Hey, we're just breaking down, right? We're on the fifth level." I do think that we're gonna have one more rally, but I think we need to wait until we create that lower low. Let's trade a day. I mean, let's trade a 4 hours. Let's trade day on day to see how that plays out. And well, we already are going to the dynamic reactor in most of the altcoins, preparing for a short. You also heard me say that in both Link and well, right now we are on a long guess on Pingu, but also preparing for some shorts because we are hitting some resistances. So if we get a short signal, we're going to be taking it. Talking about being the top of the rally, that it is a possibility. Do I really think is it going to be? I don't. But the markets don't move based on what I think. I think you know what. Remember the all of the topping. What was it? All of the topping tools that we visit on Thursdays, on the last Thursday class. I don't quite remember. Maybe that could be also a good area or a good zone to start looking to see if any of those indicators are starting to point reversals.
Yep, maybe so. I agree. I think that might be the way. All right, OC, let's kick it over. Let's go look at a couple more of those alts, and then let's head over to Crypto Coin Mindset. What you got for us, bro?
Absolutely. So right here on Link, I don't know if you already have talked about this. We have a Link support zone right here, bouncing exactly from this area. I was expecting a little bit more to the downside, but right now we're getting into resistance. What's going to happen is, again, we're going to be waiting either for breakout or for rejection, and we're going to move from there. Let's take a look at XRP here, because XRP played out very, very nicely. Let me add one of those lines in here. Let me edit it. And of course, let me add this for reference. This was 28689. So 28689, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see, 8689. All right, perfect. That was our setup in here. For a possible long, we have some sweep of the lows. Perfect. We're going back to the previous ranges. And this is giving me feelings of a wyckoff. So we're coming back down, little range, V-shaped recovery, high, could be equal, but not higher than the previous range, right? And also we have another range in here. So, I mean, I think it will be just a matter of looking how high could we get. I believe that we're going to get here at 316, and then maybe we could start looking for a wyckoff, then spring a continuation upwards. I think that so far, ranging scenarios, it's almost there. I will say that right now we have the 70% chances that Wyckoff can give us out of creating a range, but we're getting there. What we need to see here, we need to see a big area of resistance. So far, I'm seeing this one, also this line right there. Let me actually fix it like that. What else do I got? Somewhere around here, another resistance in there. And I think, well, then we know where we're going to be bouncing. All right, so this is going to be it. So let me just get rid of this other circle here, and let's keep my analysis as is right now. So I believe that we could be having that 70% chance of ranging if we are rejecting out of the 314 or 316-ish area. That is for XRP. By the way, XRP, I think I'm going to be trying to get it. Something important here that on Litecoin, we took an entry right here. We moved our stop to entry. We took some profits. And then what happened, it just came back down, created a higher low, and we had this trend line. This trend line breakout, it was what it crossed, or it triggered our alert right here. So right there is where we have an alert going all the way to the order block. Right here, what we need to start seeing is some reversal or reversal diamond here. So far, I think we have a little bit more to go, and it actually surprised me a little bit that we went so fast, so quickly on Litecoin right on Monday. Still, I believe that we need to keep our eye here, just like we did in there. This could be our next entry opportunity, just for a little bit more of a run up somewhere around here, and finally a reversal. So that's what I got on the altcoin sides. Let me pass it over to you, Piper.
Awesome. And we are at the top of the hour, guys. We're getting ready to go head over to Crypto Coin Mindset. Keith and T.I. Joe will be over there. So when you guys get there, drop those graduation caps. Evidently, people didn't like people can't handle the truth. We dropped down into the 20s on our live viewers. That's okay.
You can't handle the truth.
We're gonna keep putting out the knowledge, the information as we see it, and we're not going to get overly speculative. That's what we're here for. We're here to invest, and yes, we're investing in a speculative asset class. We're investing in crypto. We're investing in stocks, and it is speculative. I understand that, but we're not going to operate on emotions and hope. We're going to operate on what the data gives us, and that's just how it goes. So if people don't like that, tough. I don't know what to tell you. So at the end of the day, we're going to keep it real. Going to keep it real, as JR said there, and make sure you guys are getting good info. So OC, I appreciate you being here. Make sure you guys tune into OC right here on Piper Academy Trade Live with OC. Killing it, man. Killing it. Appreciate you, bro. And I'm going to go ahead and let you slide out and get over to your class. And I'm going to go over to my solo cam and while I walk this outro out. Appreciate you, OC, man. You rock, dude. You rock. All right, guys. Appreciate y'all being here today. Thank you guys for everything. If you guys got anything out of today's show, make sure you guys smash up that like button. And if anything, if you guys think that you have a friend or a family member that could get something off of this, make sure you share it out with them, because sharing is caring. We appreciate everyone. Tune in with OC, guys, this evening, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Trade Live with OC. He's going to be setting up some more trades for you guys. And then tomorrow morning, BC Port Corp will be right back here with Good Morning Crypto. We'll be back at 10 a.m. breaking down the news, the charts, the alpha, the headlines, the macro data, everything you need to have some knowledge, because here at the Academy, knowledge is profit. Till next time, guys, trade safe, use some risk management. Peace, love, profits. Later.
That's the rap. Chart stack, data never lie. Piper led the mission, OC in the sky. Spaghetti on the screen, but the vision stay prime. Chart prime visual, signals on time. Alumni strong, we built from the grind. Lessons in the market that'll outlive time. Knowledge is profit, you know how we run. Till the next one, stay sharp, get it done. We'll see you at the next one.
Don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Morning market report out.
Boom shakalaka.
We'll see you at the next one. Morning market report out. We'll see you at the next one. Morning market report.
That was awesome, dude!
Hey, it didn't break. What else you got?